This is Travis Wayne Goodsell, and it's not quite noon yet. I'm surprised. It's going slow today, I guess. 4saleit responded, and he's disappointed. So I am doing a comment reply. He had a lot to say in response, and it needs to be understood by you guys that if I choose to comment when you're not a regular viewer and you're not just saying, hey, good job, keep it up, you're actually trying to have a discussion with me, and you're asking me questions, and you're flattering me, there are certain key words that I look for to find out if you're genuine and you're sincerely wanting to learn truth, or if you're just trying to play me and lead me down a path of your own making. And so there are key words that I look for. And 4saleit talked about Fox News and how he watches them and how they praise Trump and blah, blah, blah. And besides that being a code for, no, this is a dangerous person to listen to, it was also an example that he doesn't catch on to. That Fox News uses those same code wording, which makes them very dangerous to listen to. It's not just propaganda in favor of Trump. It's actually dangerous because they neglect the abuses that Trump is doing. They encourage Trump to commit abuses and crimes. For example, Sean Hannity, when people were starting to get subpoenaed for their information and cell phone data, Sean Hannity went on the air and ordered people to destroy their cell phones so that Mueller could not receive any of their information. That's obstruction of justice, and I'm disappointed that Mueller did not have Sean Hannity locked up immediately for that comment on his show. He is not a news reporter. You're not a news reporter if you do those kinds of stunts. He's a showman. He's an entertainer. And as such, he's not a satirical comic. He's pretending to be serious news, and he's not. And so I'm very disappointed that he has not been held accountable for his abuses. That's just one example. Others have been punished by being taken off the air for a couple of weeks, and some have been fired, and etc., etc. But there are certain key words, and so, like I said, flattery is one of them. I don't take kindly to flattery. You're going to lose my interest if you start flattering me, because that's one of the ways in which people try to play me. And I've seen it time and time again. Usually when people want money, they'll say, oh, don't you want to have a lot of money to get the things you need and want? And that's a guilt trip. That's another coding that people use when they're trying to scam you and get something out of you. And so when I did my video reply to 4saleit, I pointed out exactly those code words that he was using. Now, if you'd watched the previous video that I talked about, I was letting you know, hey, wait a minute, there's some things going on here that I'm suspicious of. And when he went to my website, he was hoping that I would give up my email for him. No, because that's what Russians are doing. They're getting into your email and thus hack. And so, yes, I'm very suspicious about anybody who's desperate to try to contact me through my email when they can't just do it on YouTube or on the website or other means. For example, the girl who all of a sudden is now on LinkedIn, and she seems oblivious about new technologies, and she has just moved in with her sister, and she's using LinkedIn as a dating site. And so, yeah, no. There was some suspicions at first, and she was trying to get me to do face chat on email or on my phone, and thus try to access data information as a result of that. Just like the lawyer, the Russian lawyer, who claimed to be innocently wanting to know about my Egyptian translation of the Bible, and was pushing and pushing for a documented version. He wasn't satisfied with the video versions. He wanted documented version, and so he's gone. I gave him the one page, and he's now gone. I haven't heard from him since. And so, yeah, he got what he wanted, he thinks. So, yeah, that's why I was saying 4saleit has all these suspicious coding in his communication with me. And in the end, he does indeed reveal that he is doing what he's saying he's doing, other than coming out right and saying it. It's the way he says it to defend himself. Because you gotta be sound in your argument, otherwise you reveal the real identity of what you're doing. Alright, again, he starts off, so it looks like he's commenting as he listens to the video. And so he says, "Good morning, I actually am seeking truth." Do I need to go back to your comment? I keep it all archived. I can go back and quote you. I say things to you specifically at your website for the reason I don't want my character and lack of my understanding to be brought to everyone. You mean exposed? You don't want to be exposed. You had no problem communicating through my YouTube originally, and then you pushed to communicate directly to me in private. That was my first suspicion. Why do you need to communicate with me in private? You're just asking questions about my videos. Why do you need to communicate with me in private? So do you understand? When somebody wants to communicate in private, that sends up red flags, not Russian red flags. Warning signs, which it obviously doesn't matter now. Yeah, I exposed you. I have a good heart. That's an opinion. It's not for you to decide. Other people determine whether we have a good heart, and they know us by our fruits and mean well. You know, the opinions mean nothing. For you to just say, I did a whole hour-long video. I have a lack of intelligence, bluntly. I referred to Mormons and Kwaku as being ignorant. I don't recall saying the word ignorant or unintelligent or lacking intelligence for 4saleit. So he's assuming certain things in what I said. I could be wrong. I'd have to review the video. It would be in the beginning, it looks like. but I don't recall attacking him for his intelligence, other than not being sound in argument, which would be the same thing, but not attacking him as a stupid person, not that kind of way. And openly shows to me you are proud of your knowledge. No. As I've said in my other videos, I thought I was behind and that I needed to catch up. And so when I finally got to Utah and then started to get to know people, I realized, hey, they don't know anything. Mormons are actually ignorant of their own religion. And as a result, I automatically was far ahead of Mormons because I thought that I was behind. And so it's not a proud thing, it just happened because I thought that I was debasing myself. And so it's quite the contrary. But again, it shows that he's emotionally responding here, rather than trying to deal with the topic issues at hand. He's not dealing with the topic issue here. You catch that? He's talking about me, attacking me, by justifying it, saying that I'm attacking him. I'm attacking him. If you watched my video, if you saw the title of the video, it talks about placing truth over, or, well, yeah, I'm trying to get to the point of truth needs to be confirmed by, faith needs to be confirmed with truth. I commented to somebody else regarding circular logic that Mormons have when they place faith above truth, or make faith truth, rather than establishing the truth of their faith. And that's a circular logic fallacy. And so that's messing me up here with my tongue tied. He says, I was raised Catholic, became an atheist, then eventually Christianity. I may not be the smartest. I've had traumatic head injuries multiple times. And so again, he's trying to justify what I recognized as a foreign language identification. That may be what he's referring to here. Because I did talk about how I recognize his manner of speech as being a foreign language, and thus English is not his first language. And so that doesn't mean you're unintelligent. Being a foreign language speaker does not make you unintelligent. If you can speak more than one language, that actually makes you more intelligent. So he's not understanding what I'm talking about. I take medication that doesn't help me with memory. I want no sympathy. But again, it's been a common joke since I was a kid to when people make fun of a person or a family member, for example, they would then say that their family member is dead. Thanks a lot for bringing it up, and then walk away as a slam when their parents or children or siblings are not dead. It's just a way to shut a person up for having made such an abusive joke. That's been done since I was a young man. When I was a young warthog. And so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that this has happened to him. I have no reason to doubt it. but I'm aware of the tactic that people use to try to insult other people and demean them publicly. But for you to say what I wrote and make a comment about my intelligence with a smirk on your face. See, again, he's not addressing the issue that I was bringing up with him. He's focusing on a non-issue. And so he's judging by the outward appearance, technically, here, which John, the book of John, not John's Revelation or the Gospel of John, talks about not judging by the outward appearance. Yes, we see things on the outward appearance. And when it comes to facial expressions, we have to take in other evidence in order to have a better interpretation. And so thus what the words are also. And if I'm talking about not being a second language, and yes, I'm a happy person. So as I'm talking about this, there is a grin on my face, or a smirk as he wants to call it, which is an abusive response rather than saying a grin on your face, which would be neutral. And if you didn't know, let me give you a little educational information. Our muscles are designed so that we are naturally smiling. Even our skeletal structure is designed to go up in a smiling position. And so, yeah, it's our skin that causes the jowls. Just a curious thing there. And of course, our mothers always told us that if we keep making that face, it'll stick. And so, yeah, his emotional response is going to get him in big trouble here. Let's see. You have no idea who I am. What do you think I was doing in responding? I was fishing to find out or confirm if my suspicions were correct. What you're doing is confirming my suspicions. You are not helping me say, hey, wait a minute, I need to come up with a different interpretation here. See what I know how to communicate with people to find out the information I need to find out. And I'm not even trained FBI or KGB. I've already exposed numerous Russians on my channel through this same method. And so if this person's legitimate, I want to find out. I don't want to get strung along and played and then get Google coming back to me in a year from now saying, oh yeah, you had a data breach and back on this date. And I go, oh, okay, yeah, it's tied to so-and-so. Let's see. I came to you wanting to seek truth, but I went over what you were talking about, and you had no interest in seeking truth. Don't keep gaslighting me. You've already established in your text, your communication with me, that you're not seeking truth. And you're not listening to what I'm telling you either, which also indicates you are not interested in the truth. You are interested in your own feelings, your own opinions, your own beliefs. Again, confirming my suspicions. I look at Jesus Christ. Yeah, we got that. From my point of view, as a sinless man, God coming to earth, I'm sure he's referring to Jesus here. He loves his people he created. They do wrong. They need a way back to him. Okay, so now he's preaching his religious views. He gives himself for us, blah, blah, blah. That character of God is the way my heart and my mind couldn't put any more perfect. I don't care for religion. Are you referring to organized religion? Because if you're talking about the love of Jesus, you are just spouting off religion. So you do care for religion. He so loves us, he died for you and me, and yeah, it's Easter, I get it. He did that for you and me, took a beating, horrific death, rose again. You say that didn't happen. When? Where? See, again, he's now making an accusation that has no basis in truth. He's emotionally responding. He's lying, as he says he doesn't care for religion, as he talks about the love of Jesus for everybody, and then says that I say that didn't happen. He's not even quoting me of where I said that didn't happen. He's just assuming I'm not going to respond, or I'm going to respond to this specific focus and distract from the main issue, that he is not seeking truth. He relies on his feelings, his opinions, his beliefs. Do you not understand, people? Yes, I ramble. So what? I've never accused you of rambling. You get to the point. No, I ramble. And I see your grin. Yes, life is good. When you know the truth, everything is good. Even when chaos is going on around you. With Trump on the verge of destroying us, I can still have peace in my heart that I am okay. But yes, also when things are going bad, laughter is a good way to get you through it. So again, why is my grin a bad thing? Because he is attacking me rather than talking about the issue that he raised than that I answered. And then he throws in a chuckle. I think about death a lot. I so love everyone. So now he's talking about suicide? Or is he just thinking of Jesus' death for him? He gives me a hope. I can live and treat people rightly with his word. You can, or you just won't with me. I believe in grace. If you study him, see, he's now accusing me of being ignorant about Jesus. Do you see what he's done? He's saying that I'm falsely accusing him of being ignorant, and now he's going back on me saying I'm the one ignorant. No, you are. Yes, no, you are. No, you. Ridiculous arguments. Not religion. I can't think of any greater love than for God himself to die for. Again, I don't care about any of this feeling stuff. This does not change people. That's what Mormons don't get. They get up at the pulpits on the first Sunday of the month and they spout off their feelings about how they're thankful, they're grateful, they love, and all this, and they have feelings and they cry. There's nothing of value in any of that. Yes, there is nothing of value in any of that. That is not a testimony. A testimony has value. What's going on in the Mormon church has no value. It will not exalt, it will not save, it will not magically produce a testimony. Despite President Packer, who's the famous one for saying, oh, a testimony is born in the telling of it. No, that's a false doctrine. He's a liar. He's the one responsible for covering up church history, along with Joseph Fielding Smith Jr. No grin here. All right. Okay, here he goes and attacks me again. Let's see. Now, I just got into studying your Egyptian. I asked you for who your God is. And I referred him, and I answered, even. Your God shows me no love. Oh? Did you seek him out? Did you not listen to my video? Because my God is one where I perfect myself in the inner being. If you missed that video, I don't know if I can find it again. I've got too many videos now. And so again, he's now attacking my God, which in reality is attacking people's belief systems. He's accusing me of creating a God, just like Pete, the one running for president, and Pence, as they go back and forth debating Christianity among themselves. My God allows gays. My God doesn't allow gays. You know, that's a stupid argument. That's a sad God, he says. Again, he didn't get it. I told him that we perfect ourselves. How is that sad? One who gives a smirk and tells someone their intelligence is low. Again, he's saying, I'm my own God, I guess. Oh well. See, he's not getting it. He's being abusive. I want nothing to do with that kind of a God, if that's his God telling him to do this kind of thing. So again, he's not getting it. I like listening to what you say. You just spent this long paragraph bashing me. I find you to be very intelligent. So again, he's thinking I'm condescending to him when he missed the point of I thought I was behind and I needed to catch up. See, growing up, I gave up on school. I didn't like memorizing. I was sick and tired of memorizing, so I went into art classes in high school. I wanted nothing to do with the regular classes and took only what was necessary to get me through and didn't do the higher classes. What are they called? I just took the remedial classes. Can't remember what they're called. Oh well. They're the ones that give you an extra credit on your score, so that instead of graduating with a 4.0, you can graduate with a 5.0. And no, I wanted no part of that. My brother did. My brother was dedicated to memorization. And he was all about memorizing. He would pull out the dictionary, memorize the dictionary, pull out the encyclopedia, memorize the encyclopedia. He was all about memorization. But I'm going to reveal a little secret to all of you right here and now. He's as dumb as a stick. Or as a sheep. I know my brother, so I can say that with confidence. I can tell you all about him. I did a video about him. I can't remember the title of it. It was The Tale of Two Brothers. That's it. I explain why my brother is as dumb as a stick and I'm more intelligent. Because I learned how to learn. I figured it out. That it's all in books. And the teacher just regurgitates what's in the book. And then we're supposed to regurgitate what's in the book and what the teacher regurgitates from the book on our tests. And so our grades are how well we memorize the book. So you don't need to go to school. All you need is the books. But if the books are not primary source information, then they're no good. You don't want secondary source information. That's not going to teach you about the subject. You need to find primary source information. So with Egyptian, do you go to an Egyptologist to learn about Egyptian? No! You go to the Egyptian source documents to learn Egyptian. And yes, you're going to have to learn how to decipher in order to confirm and verify the work of other Egyptologists. Because guess what? They may be wrong. They may be incomplete. Just like with Joseph Smith, when I learned and confirmed my decipherment of Egyptian glyphs, I was then able to go into the Book of Abraham and say, oh, I see exactly what Joseph Smith was doing. And he missed out on a lot of translation material. And he's made a few mistakes. But you're not going to know it unless you do the specific research from the primary source documentations, so that you become an expert in the particular field. And yes, on Earth, there are lots of things to be an expert in. So I'm not an expert sewer. I'm not a, what am I also not an expert in? Can't think of it. And the reason why is because I've learned how to learn. I have identified philosophical patterns that can be utilized in any field. So I know how to be a lawyer. I just can't be the lawyer they want me to be, because I've identified that their system is incorrect, and I can point out all the various problems with the legal system. And I've done that, if you've been paying attention, for our Constitution. It says that crimes are violations of people's rights to life, liberty, and property. It's that simple, but nobody's following that pattern. And so and yet he's but hurt and missing your children. Okay, so he's trying to draw sympathy on my past, that I've been open with you guys here on YouTube. So this is what you do in your pastime. Yeah, I warn the world of the coming destruction. And it's caused by people who are not sound in their arguments with one another in our communication. We have tribal differences. We need to stop it. We need to tear down all of the groups, all of the parties that are competing against each other. So this is, let's see, I have my own life, obviously. I have been blessed. Okay, but is it because of your feelings, or is it because of a testimony? See, Mormons talk about blessings. Oh, the Lord has blessed me in my life. Okay, how? They never talk about it. They just say they have this feeling of blessing. And what you do find is that their life is in shambles. They're economically struggling. They're being attacked and abused. And then they say they're blessed. That's not blessing, people. That's authoritarianism causing you grief. That's what authoritarians do. They make you feel guilty for thinking that you need your rights to life, liberty, and property. That you need to be happy with your lowly status and condition. It was Karl Marx in his book Communist Manifesto, in which he says that there are people who were born to be leaders, and there were those who were born to be servants. No, that was an outright lie. But yet authoritarians, they love that, and they keep imposing it upon those who aren't in authority. They say, pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. That's from Martin Luther King Jr., who gave a scathing rebuttal to those who would dare say such a thing to a black man. And it's the same for anybody who's poor. For alt-right Republicans here in Utah and the LDS Church to say, we are not going to lift you up, you need to get yourself up yourself. See, they don't get it. Or they do get it, and they're purposely telling us that we're need to be silent and be grateful that we haven't been murdered by them yet. Because I came from a life of privilege. And when I left home, ran away from home technically, the first opportunity, oh, I can go to college? Bye. Oh, you're paying for it? Great. Oh, I can get married and run off to Canada? Great. Oh, I got to get student loans? Oh, well, at least I'm away from my parents. All right, so now he's talking about his life. He's with a beautiful woman and her children. He has a daughter I have never met that is 20 and on a mission with the LDS Church. I do want truth. Apparently you don't, because I told you and you rejected it, and now you're insulting me because I've told you. I ask whoever God is continually. No, you already know who your God is. So you're not asking continually. You're lying again. So when you're trying to deliver us your truth, be sincere. Say it like you mean it. Not with a grin and chuckle like we are foolish. Again, he's not getting it. Am I insincere? I think I'm very sincere. I am saying it like I mean it. I focus on Mormons. And I tell them, the God you are following is not the real God. It's not the God that Brigham Young has been trying to force Mormons to follow. It's not the Joseph Smith God. I did the video with the thumbnail picture with Joseph Smith's God and Brigham Young's God. I put it into the clip, the extended full intro version thing. And so just because I'm smiling, just because I am happy, and you got to understand, I'm also building on videos. There are people who come for the first time and they don't understand that when I say something, it's in reference to something else I've already said in another video. And those who I'm talking to who are regulars, I'm hoping they understand when I say something and I'm giving them a grin. And so again, he's not addressing the issue. He still hasn't gotten it. He says, I do want truth. And he wants me to deliver my truth. But when I did, he says, no, I don't like your God. That's a sad God. Your God shows me no love. I delivered you my truth, and you threw it back at me. And so now he's projecting onto other people by saying people won't respect you. No, it's just you. Because I didn't say the words that you wanted me to say, which is, oh, Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. All you need is faith and blah, blah, blah. No, I won't do that. That's not my truth. I have found out the truth. That ain't it. I don't talk to Christians on my video. I'm aware there are Christians. I'm aware there are others who are atheist or who are not of a denominational faith. I'm aware, but I'm speaking to Mormons on my channel. If I were to speak to Christians, if I were to speak to Jews, if I were to speak to Muslims, those of Islam, if I were to speak to Hindus, Buddhists, etc., I would need to speak to them in their understanding using their documents. So if Christians, I would use the New Testament. Probably have to refer to the Gospel of Paul, like the one guy that I did a comment on, who has his own video channel, where he talks about the Jesus of Paul rather than the Gospels, which I thought was strange for a Christian. But yeah, so again, if you're going to ask me about who and what I believe in, you better expect me to give you an honest answer, and you better not be offended by it, because I've not really done much of that, because my videos are specifically designed to warn Mormons. And YouTube shadow bans me, so I've been moving over to my website. But this weekend, I've not been doing that. And I'm missing out on lunch right now. Just to answer this video, or this comment. I hope and ask God to guide and direct you in His truth. See? Again, I gave Him my truth. He's throwing it back at me and rejecting it. So now he's calling me a liar, that his God is true, when he's still claiming to be searching for the true God. See? I've caught him in lies over and over, and we're just on his first comment of 3. And so let's go on to the second one. And these other 2 are smaller and as we go on. All right. And see, this is where he talks about, I haven't finished your video yet, so I'm talking along. See? I already looked ahead, and so I knew what to say. You see that big scary man, you meet him, he ends up to be kind and loving. I don't always trust what I see. I see 3 people? I see the guy who is dead? See, now he's getting weird on me. Now I remember using an analogy to talk about how we need to use our physical senses, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, hands, to identify evidence. And then it's important to take that evidence to develop theories about what is fact. And so when you see a man who's big and has tattoos, not scary, that's a feeling. And you need to make sure that you have the correct evidence and have developed a factual, or developed a fact based on a proper theory. And so the man's not scary until you see him and hear him and smell him. Skunks, for example, you can smell that they are a threat. And then apparently you got to use tomato juice. Supposedly that works. But people are not scary until they threaten you. Then all of a sudden they're scary. As I'm talking about what's happening to me in my residence, about the people who are threatening me, even the West Valley City Police who are threatening me, they were not scary until and after they threatened me. When they threatened me, then I knew I can't trust them anymore. And I have to defend myself and be cautious in order to defend myself against further threats. So see how that works? I don't just automatically assume that somebody new is going to threaten me. If you've seen the movie The Postman with Kevin Costner, he talks to the woman, and they see somebody coming up the trail towards them, and he makes his comment, "I hate this part. I don't know whether to shoot them or to welcome them." See, because he's had plenty of bad experiences of new people in his life who have been threats to him, and he's had to defend himself. And so when you've been threatened over and over again, it's difficult to trust other people who are new in your life. Similar to victims of rape or assault. It's difficult to trust other people because your trust has been violated. And it's difficult to come back from those situations. So like 4saleit, I was cautious. I specifically worded things to try to find out his response to confirm one way or the other whether he was a friend or a foe that I should be concerned about. I was testing him the whole time, and he's now failed the test. And so I want nothing more to do with him, because he's not getting it. He's not interested in me. He's not interested in my truth, to use his wording. He is trying to push his truth on me instead. By getting me to reveal my truth, he was going to discredit it and then tell me his truth so that I would be converted. And I'm not having any of that. This is my channel, my website. If he doesn't like it, if he thinks he's going to come and destroy my life and the peace that I know from truth, real truth, not personal belief, not personal feelings, not personal opinions, I want nothing to do with such a person. Don't come onto my channel, don't come into my life thinking you're going to convert me. Because you'll either be upset with me or you'll be converted instead. And he chose to be upset. And now he's talking about guns. I can ask questions, but will I know what happened? He didn't understand my analogy. The scary-looking guy accidentally shot his best friend. He's making up his own thing. I don't get it. While a guy was late walking in and saw and ran, just like the rest of this video. Just like the rest of this video, am I misunderstanding your view? Yes, greatly. Depends when and what I see. No, it doesn't. My interpretation of this video. People give thumbs up, people give thumbs down. Who is right? Neither. A thumbs up or a thumbs down does not mean one thing or the other. That is a person's personal opinion. And they're all worthless. I wish YouTube didn't even have them. All I need to know is how many people are viewing my video. That's all I'm interested in. I don't care who says thumbs up. I don't care how many Russians put a thumbs down. If you're going to use thumbs up and thumbs down as a measure of your own self-worth, which I've had people comment to that effect, I see there are more thumbs down on your video. Maybe you should reconsider and be silent. No! That's abuse, guys. You can't do that. That's an ad populum fallacy, by the way. It has to do with the majority rules, and it doesn't. The majority rules does not rule. It's just what the people chose as the way things are to be. And so, common sense, you've probably heard that. My mom threw it in my face all growing up. You don't have any common sense, Travis. Oh? And whose common sense are you referring to, Mother? And again, for anybody, whose common sense? Oh, it's common. Is it? Who says? Why are people's opinions the truth? They're not. I could be the only person in the world to know the truth. And does that make me wrong? Because the common sense says I am? No. Truth is not common sense. So now the third one. And here it is. Wow, you're way off. You have no idea who I am. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I've already exposed him. He didn't. Now, as I'm watching this, you have done nothing but bash me. I was also way off. I was hoping you were actually a kind individual. I gave you nothing but respect. Now, by talking to and about me like this, should I respect you? You are way off, buddy. See? That's what people do as a fallback in religion. You can't judge me. You don't know me. You haven't walked in my shoes. Those are all excuses to get away with criminal, abusive, sinful behavior. Incorrect behavior, even. And he just projected himself as having done that. And I've demonstrated step by step, line by line of his, how he's projecting that it's him who's way off. He doesn't respect me. He didn't want to know the truth. He interprets the truth as his beliefs. And because of his beliefs, he thinks that that is the truth, and therefore everybody else is wrong. Hold on a second. His only purpose was to convert me to his way of thinking and believing and feeling and opinionating. He had no respect for what I was saying. Otherwise, he wouldn't have pursued this course. And that's why he wanted it to be private, so that he could do his little plot in secret against me, so that none of you would know about it. But this is why I'm warning you. This is why I'm exposing everybody who thinks they can convert me, who thinks they can condemn me, who thinks they can destroy me. I will not allow you to do it. YouTube may allow the Russians to jack up my thumbs down, and Mormons, you may think that you can make abusive comments about my person, my character, and neglect the issues that I'm talking about. See, because nowhere did 4saleit talk about the issue that he talked about, that I answered, that he then rejected. And he rejected it by attacking my character and my person. Instead of saying, well, what do you mean truth is defined by our physical experiences? Is that like empiricalism or whatever it's called? And then I'd have to get into a discussion with him about that. But he doesn't bother because he's not interested in the truth. If he was interested in the truth, he would ask questions and desire to understand and know more about what I'm telling him. If he doesn't like what I have to say, he then can't come to me and say, well, you're condescending. Well, you're accusing me of being ignorant. It's unsound. It's wrong. It's abuse. And I will not put up with it. I have no interest in his God, especially from knowing him, especially now. I have no interest. I already know God. Know God. And I've discussed this on other videos. You cannot come to me and think that I'm lying or that it's just my belief. You will lose. And so I'm not going to ban him yet. I'm just going to delete his comments. But I hope you guys understand. This is my channel. It will be done the way I want it to be done, not the way you want it to be done. It says there's 4. I only saw 3. He has another one. Yeah, okay, so this didn't make it into my email. He says, how about that child living? No idea what you're talking about. You obviously don't care. Again, he's attacking. I don't even know what he's talking about with child living. But then he goes and my ex-girlfriend's mother was raped. So she didn't know her grandfather. Through that situation, I had Riley, whom I don't know, but yet so much want to know. Have spoke to you several times about. As I'm watching this, my heart hurts very much. You have come out to be a complete... I'm sure I'll be blocked. No. For that I don't care. Enjoy living your lonesome self. See, he's just abusing me. He has no interest in learning the truth. That's what he came to me for. He wanted to know the truth. I told him. He said, you liar. You complete a-hole. If you don't want to learn what I have to learn, go away. Don't attack me. That's just the wrong way to do it. And so he's already expecting to be banned and blocked. Isn't that interesting? He knew what he was doing when he said those words, that he would be banned and blocked. He already thought of it. He already knew what he was doing. That was premeditated motivation. See, I could be an excellent lawyer. You don't need motivation in a court of law anyway. All right. Okay. So, bye. I hope never to hear from you again. You have confirmed that you aren't interested. You had ulterior motives, and I exposed them. You exposed them by your words. So, I hope the rest of you understand this process. I told you guys, I will not be silent. I will not be bullied. If you can't be sound and have a legitimate discussion, don't even bother. Okay, I'm hungry.